When I tell people that I have a print on demand business, most people have absolutely no idea what that means. If you've been around this POD world for a while, it feels normal, but we forget that most people still think that you need a warehouse full of inventory or a room full of printing equipment to have a business like this. But you don't. You can literally build a business with designs. That's what I do. I create a design, I put it on a product. Maybe it's a candle, a baby onesie, an ornament, a tote bag, or a mug. I make the mock-ups. I list it on Etsy. That listing is connected with a print partner. Then someone places an order. If it's personalized, I'll customize it first. Then I send it to production. The print partner prints it, packs it, ships it directly to my customer, and I've never touched it. And I still think that this is really amazing after doing this for 6 years. People ask me, how do you actually make money doing this? When someone buys something from my Etsy shop, Etsy collects their payment. They take their fees, which is fair because they're bringing me the customers, and then the rest is deposited into my bank account. From there, I pay my print partner to make and ship the product. What's left over is my profit. That's why your margins matter so much. Choosing the right product matters. Your pricing matters. The research matters because that is what builds your business. That's also where the money leaks can happen. One of the things that I love the most about print on demand is that I don't have shelves full of inventory sitting in my garage hoping that someone buys it. Nothing gets made until someone actually places an order, which means that we're not spending thousands of dollars up front. You're not throwing away products that have never sold, and it's really a smart business model. Now, I also want to be honest about what it takes to be successful with print on demand. It's not passive income. I know that the internet loves to sell that dream, but that has never been my experience. It's a real business. You have to research, you have to learn how to design, you have to improve, you have to keep creating. There are people who quit after 50 listings because they think it's not working. Then there are people who quietly keep building 300 listings, 500, 1,000, and eventually something clicks with them. They start making $1,000 a month, and then 2,000, then more. Those are the people that I really admire, not because they're lucky, but because they stayed and they didn't quit. One thing I used to believe was that you could build your shop and then just let it sit forever. And for a little while you can. But what I've learned over 6 years of doing this is that the people who continue to grow and continue to build with new products, the competition is changing. There's more saturation coming into the market. The trends are changing. New products are coming out. You have to keep planting the seeds in your business in order to make it sustainable. This is what makes it not passive. Also, the daily fulfillment of the orders. I've had products that exploded. I had one tumbler sell around 3,000 times, and today maybe it sells like a couple a month. I've had ornaments that have sold thousands of times. Back in 2020, I had a t-shirt that sold around 300 times, and I remember thinking, I made it. Yeah. Now I laugh because my perspective has changed so much. Every bestseller has a season. The goal isn't finding one magical listing. The goal is becoming the kind of seller who can create the next one. Again and again. People ask me, I've got 300 listings. Why isn't this replacing my full-time income? Because it's usually not enough. I've watched students build 500, 600, sometimes more, and then Q4 hits. The next year they add more and then more. Now they're getting 20 sales a day, eventually 40. During Q4, maybe 200 sales a day, and it just compounds. But only if you keep building. And usually in Q4, I make 2 to 3 times what I make the entire other 3 quarters. So there's also those slumps during the year where people will give up because sales are slow. Is Etsy frustrating sometimes? Absolutely. The algorithm can feel mysterious at times. Some products flop. You think they're going to be awesome. Some surprise you. A lot of this business is experimenting. One thing that I've learned is that when a design starts to do really well, I'll look for other markets where that same kind of graphic or artwork naturally fits, not copying it everywhere and putting it in all of these places, but expanding it into other micro markets on my list, my HPP list, where it would make sense. And that's been one of my biggest growth strategies in my shop, along with looking at parallel markets in order to pull over design styles that are working in those parallel markets. The reason why I love print on demand is not because it's easy. I love it because of the possibility that it provides. You don't need a warehouse. You don't need employees on day one. You don't need thousands of dollars sitting in inventory. You need creativity, consistency, and the willingness to keep showing up day in and day out. Over the last 6 years, I've built 3 Etsy shops. I've hired 2 virtual assistants. I have a third that helps during Q4. We've done about 1.6, might be 1.7 million in revenue now, which sounds huge until you remember that it's spread across 6 years. Business expenses, payroll, software fees, taxes. Real businesses have real expenses. My first years were not glamorous. I netted around 5,000 the first year, then around 45,000. Then it kept growing. That's what people don't always see. They see the result, they see the revenue number. They don't see the years of building that came first. And I want you to be able to get there faster than I did, taking 6 years. And I'm not where I could have been if I was following this method that I'm following now back at the beginning. I think I would be much further. The print partners that I've worked with so far have been Printify for my apparel and then Inner Circle Prints for everything else. My candles, my onesies, my tumblers, my frosted mugs, my 40-ounce tumblers, my ornaments. On the ICP website, the owner, Jesse, shares an update every Monday. And 2 weeks ago, he shared this update about the ornaments in the 40-ounce tumblers. They've invested in a different coating on the ornament in the 40-ounce tumbler that makes the adhesion of the artwork to it even more vibrant and crisp. Like here you can see the detail inside of the dog's fur. I love that constant improvement just because that quality really matters for our customers, for our reviews. Little improvements like that over time really make a difference. People ask me if ornaments are still worth selling because sometimes you can only profit like $3 to $4 per. And I tell them, absolutely. I've seen watercolor pet ornaments selling for like $35 plus shipping during Q4. And if fulfillment costs $10 to $11, that's a really healthy margin. Now, is everyone going to be selling 50 a day like some of the shops that I see during Q4? No, that's the exception. But seeing that it's even possible is really motivating. And what I've noticed lately is the people that take their time on listings and they offer a lot of value inside of them tend to have the big hitters more so than people that do the one-offs and just get them up quickly. It's just something I'm noticing. So that's print on demand. It's not easy money. It's not passive, but I genuinely think that it's one of the most beautiful business models out there. Someone across the country can buy something that you designed. A print partner that you've never met creates it. They ship it, your customer gets something meaningful, and you get paid for your creativity. I think that's really incredible. I would love to know, how long have you been doing print on demand? Have you started a shop yet? What's been the hardest part for you? Or if you're already selling products, what is something about print on demand that no one warned you about that you hate? Let's talk about it in the comments. I'm interested to see your take or your experience so far with print on demand.